or not, here I come, you can't hide. Killing me softly with this song. Ooh la la la, it's the way that we rock when we doing our thing. Some guys are only about that thing.
A co-founder of the Fugees is suing Lauryn Hill for fraud. PRas filed a federal lawsuit blaming Hill for breach of contract over their scuttled 2023 reunion tour.
The music industry is just a microcosm of the world. So whenever you stand for something and you stand for goodness and truth, you will always get resistance. That's period.
Lauryn Hill was on top of the world, an unstoppable force in music. But behind the Grammys, the chart-topping hits, and that undeniable voice lies a story you won't believe. From a rapid rise to fame to a sudden disappearance, Lauryn's life took twists no one saw coming. What happened to the girl who seemed destined to rule the industry? The truth is far messier than you've ever imagined. Now, let's take it back to when Lauryn first burst onto the scene with the Fugees. Y'all remember that, right? She wasn't just some background singer. Lauryn was the voice, the energy, and the reason the group went from underground to mainstream in no time. Their album, The Score, it wasn't just big, it was legendary. Tracks like Killing Me Softly and Ready or Not,
Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide.
had everyone singing along. And Lauryn's vocals, child, they were everything. She quickly became the face of the group, and it was clear sis was on a whole different level. But Lauryn wasn't about to stop there. Nope, she was just getting started. When she decided to go solo, people were like, can she really do it on her own? And honey, did she ever? The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill hit the scene, and it was a straight-up game changer. Every song was a hit. Doo-wop that thing.
Yeah, guys, you know you better watch out.
X Factor.
As painful as this thing has been.
To Zion.
Now the joy.
It was like Lauryn had unlocked a whole new level of genius. The critics loved her. The fans obsessed. And the awards. Ooh, she was sweeping the Grammys, walking away with 5 trophies in one night. Unheard of, right? Who can forget her role as Rita Watson in Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit?
Because I'm free.
That was a legendary performance with none other than Whoopi Goldberg. But here's the kicker. While she was out here making history, there were whispers, y'all. Rumors were already starting to bubble up. Lauryn was on top, but behind the scenes, the cracks were showing, and people close to her could see the pressure was real. Fame wasn't as glamorous as it looked, and it didn't take long for things to start unraveling.
I mean, I have a hard time being so hard on the music world, especially hip-hop, because most of them come out of the hood 17 years old, having no concept of what life really is.
Lauryn was that girl, no doubt about it. But it seemed like the higher she climbed, the more complicated her life became. And baby, that's when the real drama started to kick in.
There are people who have not reached that point in their walk. You know, yes, there's a little anger, there's a little resentment, because you raise a standard, especially when you do it and you make some noise, you know, and you do it and people actually listen to what you have to say, and like your record is bumping on the radio and you're saying something that holds a mirror up to a lot of the negativity and self-indulgent things and messages that a lot of other people, you know, but we're all young.
So, after Lauryn was out here collecting Grammys like they were nothing, people were expecting her to keep dropping hits. I mean, who wouldn't? But then, out of nowhere, she vanished. Like 1 minute, she was everywhere, and the next, gone. No tours, no new music, nothing. And everyone was asking the same question. What happened to Lauryn Hill? Well, sis was dealing with a lot. And let's just say the industry wasn't all glitz and glam for her. Word on the street was that she was burnt out. The fame, the pressure to be perfect, the constant spotlight, it was taking a toll. And not to mention over the music industry's shady ways. Lauryn was never one to follow the rules, and it seemed like the business side of things was draining her creative energy. But wait, it gets deeper. There were rumors swirling that Lauryn was going through some serious personal struggles too, And if you were paying attention, you noticed that she started talking more and more about spirituality, stepping back from the flashy lifestyle.
Matrix was a banging movie to me. And the reason why I appreciated it so much was because, do you remember at the end when Neo realized his potential? He started to see the binary code. You remember that? The whole world? That's where I'm trying to be spiritually. I'm trying to see the word of God in the whole world. So every time that agent throws a punch, I'm like, I see you. Oh, okay. I'm just catching his punches. So I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid because I'm starting to see that. Things are just, situations materialize themselves and, oh, he's an agent.
Some say she was trying to find herself, while others claim that there was some behind-the-scenes drama that pushed her to disappear. The retreat wasn't just about music. It was like Lauryn was trying to escape everything. And while fans were begging for a comeback, she was out here living life on her own terms, leaving folks with more questions than answers. But trust me, the mystery was only just getting started. And just when you think things couldn't get messier, boom, here comes the tax drama. Yep, Lauryn Hill, the queen of soulful anthems, got tangled up in some serious legal trouble back in 2012. The IRS came knocking and it wasn't pretty. Turns out, Lauryn hadn't paid taxes in years. I mean, sis owed millions. And y'all know how Uncle Sam is. He doesn't play when it comes to getting his coins. Now, Lauryn tried to explain herself. She said she was protecting her family and living underground to escape the pressures of the music industry. She wasn't about that life anymore and just wanted to step away. But the government, they weren't hearing it.
R&B star Lauryn Hill is in trouble for not filing her taxes for several years. But on the bright side, pretty soon she might get to meet Wesley Snipes.
In 2013, Lauryn was sentenced to 3 months in federal prison for tax evasion. Yep, the Lauryn Hill went to jail. And this was a shock to everyone. I mean, how did she go from being on top of the world to sitting in a cell? Fans were devastated. And the media, they had a field day with this one. But Lauryn, being who she is, didn't go quietly. Nope, she dropped a new track called Consumerism.
Yeah, consumerism's run through them like a tumor in them. Ageism, sexism, racism, chauvinism.
Just before heading to prison, taking shots at society, the government, and of course, the industry. Even when she's down, Lauryn is never out.
Lauryn and I did time together. We did 90 days together, and that encounter changed my life. So I was cool with the counselor who took her in, and she assigned Lauryn to me.
She was in jail because at Danbury because of tax evasion.
And really, that's sad because she didn't really handle her taxes. So although she's supposed to be responsible for the people that are handling it, in many ways, she thought that her business was being handled, and it wasn't. So if you really get to understand Lauryn, really, she suffered from a lot growing up, trusting people, being a star at this early age, young. Being dependent, a lot of people being dependent upon her for income, a lot of people using her or misusing her for their own gain or fame. And to be honest with you, she's probably one of the most prolific spiritual people that I've ever met in my whole entire life.
And listen, when she finally got out of prison, Lauryn didn't come back with any apologies. If anything, she doubled down on her stance, saying the system was rigged and she was just trying to protect her peace. But child, this was just one more chapter in Lauryn's wild story. And if you think this was the end of her troubles, oh honey, we're just scratching the surface. All right, let's dive deep into Lauryn's personal life because honey, this is where the drama really starts to unfold. Lauryn Hill and Rohan Marley. They were the couple, music royalty, with that Marley legacy in the mix. Everyone was rooting for them, especially after they had 5 beautiful kids together.
It was wonderful. It was beautiful. Learned a lot. Maybe living together, being together as couples and things, it doesn't work in that sense. But as a human being, as a mother of my children, I highly respect her.
And now you have 5 children with Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, they're all beautiful. They do wonderful things. They're all creative. I myself, I have 12 children. She lets our children live and be themselves. That's what I love, our children, you know. I like her ideology as a person.
But as always, things aren't as perfect as they seem from the outside. Rumors started swirling that their relationship was on the rocks. And the gossip was wild. Sources close to them hinted that there was trouble in paradise. Rohan was allegedly out here doing his own thing, and people were saying Lauryn wasn't happy about it, like at all. There were even whispers about infidelity on both sides. Then came the moment that really had everybody talking. Lauryn's sixth child. In 2011, Lauryn gave birth to her sixth baby, and it was clear from the jump that something was off.
She wants her way. Snatches things.
You see, Rohan straight up denied being the father. Yeah, child, it got messy real quick. The baby's father, according to all gossip, it wasn't Rohan at all. It was an unknown musician who allegedly became involved with Lauryn while she was still with Rohan. Can you believe it? Fans were shocked. While she was dealing with relationship drama, raising 6 kids at the same time, the world was waiting for her to make a musical comeback. But as we all know, Lauryn wasn't about to play by anyone's rules. She stayed focused on her family, but the rumors never really went away. After stepping away from the spotlight and dealing with all that personal chaos, Lauryn didn't just go quiet. She had what many called a spiritual awakening, and let's just say it wasn't the kind of transformation people were expecting. Lauryn began talking more about her connection to God and how she was distancing herself from the materialism and corruption she saw in the world, especially in the music industry. She felt like the industry was trying to control her, and she wasn't having it.
They tried to destroy Lauryn because they tried to destroy Miss Hill's work and legacy because she didn't want to do another Miseducation the way they wanted her to do it. She wanted to make music as her evolution. Right. So through that now, they would, the record, the thing.
She was done with the fake glamour, the fame, and all the toxic energy that came with it. Instead, Lauryn said she was on a mission to find her true purpose.
I've been put in this unique position. I have this very unique responsibility that God has made me aware while I still have the mic.
Sounds good, right? Well, not everyone was on board. As Lauryn started speaking out more publicly, her views became a lot more intense. Some of her fans were with her, but others, they were shook. Lauryn wasn't just rejecting the industry.
The music industry is just a microcosm of the world. So whenever you stand for something and you stand for goodness and truth, you will always get resistance. That's period. Whether you're in the pharmaceutical industry, the record industry, or whatever.
She started talking about government conspiracies, social injustices, and even questioned the very systems people rely on.
I'm always want to be involved in anything that's helping to develop countries that have not seen the proper access, or just fairness in terms of development and evolution and change and growth. So I think people just knew that I was sort of gung-ho for this direction, and I was invited to perhaps be a part of, see what the future holds.
She delivered some pretty controversial messages during her concerts, and let's be real, people didn't know what to make of it. Was she being enlightened, or was she going too far? There was one concert in particular that had everybody talking. Lauryn went on a long emotional rant, preaching about how society was broken and how people need to wake up. The media dragged her for it, calling it an incoherent ramble. But Lauryn, she stood firm. She claimed she was using her platform to spread the truth, whether folks were ready for it or not.
If we can do all these things that we do digitally, technologically, economically, we can feed people, we can educate people through poverty. We can solve the problems of poverty. Poverty isn't even something that should exist in this world at this point because we have wealth, we have intellect, we have the ability to develop and design and create whatever we want to. The question is do we want to? That's what we have to ask ourselves.
This new spiritual Lauryn didn't just change how she spoke, she changed how she lived. She became more reclusive, only performing if she felt it was right. And when she did perform, baby, let's just say, she was showing up late way too often. Fans would buy tickets, wait for hours to see her, and sometimes she wouldn't even finish her set. People were frustrated, and her reputation was taking a huge hit. But Lauryn wasn't about to apologize for anything. She said she was living in her truth, no matter what people thought. As her behavior became more unpredictable, whispers about Lauryn's mental health started to surface. Some fans speculated that her reclusive lifestyle and erratic actions were signs of deeper issues. There were even reports from former band members and staff who said Lauryn could be difficult to work with. Some described her as intense, saying she had high expectations and could be incredibly demanding. Word got out that Lauryn's need for control was at an all-time high, and people who didn't vibe with her vision, they were out. But true to form, Lauryn brushed off the criticism. She claimed she was simply expressing herself in her way, unfiltered and unapologetic. Despite the raised eyebrows, she insisted she was fine, living her life on her own terms. But as the world watched, one thing was becoming clear. Lauryn's journey was taking her somewhere few could follow. And believe me, her next moves would keep everybody talking. Because after years of this roller coaster, Lauryn made another attempt to step back into the spotlight. After years of ups and downs, Lauryn decided to return to the stage. Fans were hyped to see her back in action, hoping for a glimpse of the Lauryn who'd given them the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. But, as always, Lauryn was on her own schedule, and her comeback wasn't without complications. Lauryn tried to revive her music career, even joining forces with the hip-hop legend Nas for a tour. But fans hoping for a smooth ride were in for a roller coaster. Lauryn still arrived late to many shows, and her reinterpretation of classic hits left audiences divided. Even as she wowed some fans, others were left wondering if the Lauryn Hill they once adored would ever truly return. And just when things couldn't get any messier, another bombshell dropped. Lauryn's former Fugees bandmate, PRas hit her with a lawsuit.
A co-founder of the Fugees is suing Lauryn Hill for fraud. PRas filed a federal lawsuit blaming Hill for breach of contract over their scuttled 2023 reunion tour. The tour was cut short when Hill claimed vocal strain made her unable to perform, and a planned 2024 tour was canceled.
He claimed that she committed fraud over a planned Miseducation anniversary tour that was canceled before it even got off the ground. According to PRas, Lauryn backed out of the deal last minute, leaving him and others involved in the tour out to dry. For fans, it was just another twist in the never-ending drama that surrounds Lauryn's life. But Lauryn, she wasn't about to let this lawsuit or anything else dictate her path. True to form, she brushed off the negativity, insisting that she's still owning her own vision, no matter what. These days, with a net worth of $9 million, she's still out here, making occasional appearances and holding her head high as a mother, an artist, and a woman who's been through it all. She may not be cranking out albums or following any traditional path in the music industry, but Lauryn's legacy is one that's impossible to ignore. So, what's the real story here? Is Lauryn Hill a victim of an unforgiving industry, or has she forged a legacy on her own terms, lawsuits and all? One thing's for sure, her story's as legendary as her voice, and she still keeps people guessing.